If you've ever tried to tune a subwoofer amplifier and were confused on how to do it, or if you think the gain on your amp isn't set correctly, you're gonna wanna stick around for this video. Today, we're gonna be going over how to tune a bass amplifier step by step to ensure you get the most out of your bass system. So don't go anywhere. Hey, what's up guys? It's Josh from Breaker Stereo and Performance, and this is going to be a tutorial video on how to tune a bass amplifier. You will need to purchase some equipment in order to do this properly. Now the SMD DD1 is an option, but you can also look for a less expensive oscilloscope online if you don't want to spend quite as much money, and we've seen them for about $50 or so. Your choice, but the principles are going to be the same. Now the SMD DD1 has a light that indicates the distortion, where the scope will give you a clipped sine signal wave to indicate distortion. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is find the maximum unclipped level on this radio, which means the loudest you can turn up this radio without it distorting. Okay, so we wanna set everything to flat, okay? So we're gonna get in here and we're gonna turn off anything that would possibly boost the signal, okay? Go into the EQ. As you can see, everything's flat here. All right, so we're completely flat. And then also on the crossovers, we want to make sure all our crossovers are not set at all, okay? Another thing you want to do, you want to set your sub volume in the center. So if you're doing it on the radio, set it in the center. And if you're using an LC1, an outboard RCA volume knob for your subwoofer, set that dead in the middle. This radio goes up to 15. So for us, the middle would be about 7.5, and I'm just going to choose 8. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is go to the amplifier. Okay, now we want to grab the signal from the stereo, and we can do this two different ways. The first way is we can unplug our RCAs, plug in a Y adapter, and then we can get the signal directly from here. The other way is we can get the signal at the amplifier, and I'll show you how that's done. So these go obviously back in here. And then you can use the provided cable that comes with the DD1, and this end's going to plug into the DD1 itself, and then on this we're going to plug the positive onto the positive side of the speaker, and then the negative is going to go on the ground, not of the speaker, but on the actual ground of the amplifier. Okay, and then make sure that you do not have your subwoofer hooked up at this point. Okay, we want to make sure our gain is all the way down at this point. Also, the crossover off. Now, if you have a monoblock amplifier like this one where there is no off for your crossover, you want to set that low pass crossover as high as it can go. In this case, 200. Also, your bass boost is going to be at 0. And if you have a subsonic filter, make sure you set that as off. So if you buy the DD1, it comes with this CD. Now, on this CD, you have different frequencies and different dB levels. Now, if you don't have a CD player, like in this vehicle, you can easily transfer those tracks over on a thumb drive. Now in the near future, we're gonna go ahead and record some test tracks on our YouTube channel. That way you guys can access that pretty easy. Now I've seen guys run a $40 scope they bought on Amazon that seems to work pretty well. I've never used it personally, but from what I can tell, it works pretty good. Okay, so we wanna make sure we're playing a 40 Hertz track at 0 dB, okay? So we wanna do it at 0 dB. Now there are a couple different levels we're going to mess with here in a minute. I'll go over that a little bit later, but as for right now, we want to make sure it's 0 dB. Also, another thing, make sure that your interior speakers are not hooked up. So if you're running an amplifier, you're going to go ahead and disconnect the RCAs off that amp so that that low frequency does not play through your speakers, because you could blow speakers out if you do that. And if you're not running a 4-channel amplifier, then what you're going to want to do is turn off the internal power of the radio. Now, if your radio does not have that feature, then you may have to pull it out and disconnect the speaker lines from the radio, which definitely could be a hassle. Okay, as you can see, we have the 40 Hertz detected here on the DD1. I'm going to turn the volume up until I get that distortion light to turn on here. All right, so it's blinking a little bit. So 28, we have distortion. 27. Okay, so 26 is where it stops. So that's our distortion level. So that's the maximum output that this radio can put out unclipped. Okay, so we're going back to the amplifier, and now what we're going to do is we're going to leave everything plugged in the way it is. But what you can do at this point, if you wanted to set the bass EQ, you can do so, but you don't want to overdo it. So I recommend maybe like plus 6 dB is probably the most you want to go. And now we're going to change the track to either -5, -10, or -15 dB overlap. Okay, so if you're actually doing this, pay close attention. Now, using a -5 dB overlap will ensure that you'll get the maximum sound quality, and going with a -15 dB overlap will result in a louder system. Now, We want to shoot the middle since we like to have a nice balance between the two. So we're going to go with a 40 hertz track, negative 10 dB overlap. All right, so now we're playing our track here. We have our signal detected. And then at this point, I'm going to go ahead and turn the gain up. All right, so now I'm setting the gain and I'm looking for the distortion. And right there, so that exactly is our distortion, and you just back it down slightly. And I'll do it again just to make sure that we got it right. So once it's solid, and then back it down. Right now I'm right at about half, so this is going to be just a hair under half on the gain. Okay? All right, perfect. So now what I can do is I can set my crossover, and I'm going to go ahead and set this up at 80 hertz. And now I'm set. All right, so let's check out some music. All right, so at this point, go ahead and put everything back together. Hook up your subwoofer and make sure that your interior speakers are hooked up as well. And then I'd recommend turning the volume down slightly too before you start playing some music. Okay, so at this point you can go ahead and adjust your subwoofer level up if you want to, and then you can get in here and mess with the EQ if you like. So go ahead and start to tune your radio as you see fit. That's perfectly okay at this point. Now, if you like it flat, even better, but you can do some tweaks if you like. Okay, now I do want to mention a few things. Now, there are some videos out there showing you how to set the gain differently, which say you should turn up all the EQ settings like you would normally listen to and turn the bass knob all the way up. Now, I'd like to give a shout out to Jay Dizzle, who brought this point up in our last video we posted. Now, this is another method of tuning, and I'll explain the advantages and disadvantages for both that method and the method we demonstrated here on this video. The advantage when presetting your audio controls is this will make sure that you do not get a clipped signal when you have those audio settings in place. And tuning this way, it's less likely to blow out a speaker. Now, the disadvantage is for songs that are recorded lower, you won't be able to reach the full potential of the speakers. Now, the advantage for setting everything to flat when setting your gain, then getting your audio controls set up, is it will give you the flexibility to reach the speaker's full potential. Just keep in mind, every song is recorded differently and also plays different frequencies at different levels. And sometimes you'll want to boost those different frequencies depending on your preference. But the disadvantage is that tuning this way will leave a greater chance of blowing a speaker out. Because if you overdo it with the settings, you could send a clip signal to your speakers. Just keep in mind, distortion is the main factor that blows out speakers. So let your ears be the guide. Out of these two methods, which do you prefer and why? Leave your answer in the comment section below. Okay, if you found this video useful, make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Okay, that's gonna wrap it up, guys. My name is Josh. I'm with Breaker Stereo and Performance. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.